So much for tuning in to this live on this Labor Day. It's good to see the comments are working here. Ron, welcome in. John, Matt, Stephanie, Darren, welcome in, mate. Good to see you in here. Jan, welcome in, love. Mel, good evening as well. Nazar, welcome in. Hopefully everybody's having a great Labor Day holiday here. Dennis, good evening. Tommy making a setup now. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's your thoughts for short-term correction or going up? Greetings from Amsterdam. No problem. We'll be looking at this right now. So good evening. 5:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, September 4th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it's pretty simple here what we're looking at. And please make sure to hit that like button as it will greatly help push my content through the algorithm. It's the only way to get new viewers in here as I don't have a marketing budget because I don't do paid advertisement, promotions, or sponsorships of any kind. Dennis, I greatly appreciate that. So it's on me and you to spread the word to see if we can get new people in here. And we just went over 18,400 subscribers yesterday. So I greatly appreciate everybody's help in pushing this content. So I might come back on at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I had a lot of fun last night. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the lives. Hamza, welcome in. Ron D, good evening. Been waiting for that 35 here, the master speak. Nice. I appreciate you sticking around. Anas, welcome in. As I had a lot of fun last night with the European audience as well. So in the UK and that side of the world. Because we had about 115 people in here at 11, or what was it, about almost 1 a.m. by the time I got off. So it was a rather exciting experience. And to see just that side of the world popping off, new faces, makes me wonder if I can do maybe a little more expanded coverage as well by doing a couple lives a day, by doing it at a later time as well. So we'll see what happens. But anyhow, I'm glad to be here with everybody to see what's going to happen in the XRP technical analysis. First, we have to start in the short term. XRP Fried Chicken, welcome in. I much appreciate you continuing to tune in and being a part of the army as well. XRP in the immediate short term, we're above the ascending triangle formation. If anybody was in tune for the live last night, or even the update this morning, although the update this morning we had to talk about the bearish scenario as well because we were under here. But in the live, we went through in a great detail and at great length for about an hour and 15 minutes last night. If we stayed above here and held the 50-cent mark, we should be able to, first layer would be this 524, but ultimately try to see how bearish we are. Up at the 54-cent resistance. It is getting closer for the longers as well. For the longs right now. With the anticipated push up, you would come up to the top of this formation. This was the bottom of the channel down here. We held it. Of the rising channel, we came up into the short-term formation again, and this formation started on the uptrend right around May 7th, and the downtrending resistance started at just about the end of March. And then the importance of what we did today, not much yet. This is why we keep saying, are we going to be bearish or can we rally here on Labor Day to continue moving up? We still have not broken back into the formation that started in the beginning of mid-August. So the fact we haven't bounced back into this formation could be overly bearish. So yes, we're back in the ascending triangle formation, but the shorter pattern we have been unable to get back up and hold. Now it's 514 as we continue to push out. So that is pretty interesting. So does anybody understand the significance of that? 39 people here on this Labor Day. I greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate everybody who tunes in. And you're doing a fantastic job hitting that like button as well. I didn't think there'd be as many people on right now. I just wanted to come on and update everybody. So anybody who wants to comment on anything, you are more than welcome as we do an open invitation here. Oh, Jonathan Thomas so detailed that he's the only YouTuber anyone really needs. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I greatly do appreciate those words. Showtime, welcome in. So this is what we're looking at. And if we do get rejected here in the all-time pattern, this is the immediate short term on the drop. If we can't get back up here, we'll immediately come back down likely to the 2020 uptrend. The only thing is, as we know, if we just look at the bigger patterns, well, that's the market cap. But as we look at the bigger pattern, we do know we've got the 446 here. Now it's about 447. That's the channel uptrend. Then we have the swing low at 435. That's technically in between. We also have the 485 support, which is roughly the double bottom here. I think it's about 488, my apologies. 488 around the double bottom. So, and in the immediate short term, you can kind of see here, at least I can. If you look at it in the 4-hourly, kind of looks like a left shoulder here. Looks like a head formed right shoulder. So if that's the case, this should just be a short-term inverted head and shoulders. It actually just fills out this flag. And I don't want to put it here because I have it in the other chart, but this flag that it's trying to fill out, it's in the all-time pattern here. That's what I put here. This is the flag. Batman top, resistance, resistance. But the question is kind of get back in there. That's an obstacle we're trying to see how it will react here. So that's really what we're looking at here. Wow, now there's 57 people in here. Wow. Figured there'd be a lot of people traveling right now as well. So it's a good way for me to keep my bond with everybody. So that's XRP. We'll get back into XRP, but real quickly, I want to jump through a couple real quick. Solo. So Sologenic is once again attempting. It's on the outside of this formation. So what we need to watch, and this is why I want to come on with Solo, if we continue to push this narrative, we are in a rising channel. It's somewhat of a rising channel within a bear flag. So this is why it's important to stay involved with the pattern. Now that we came outside, I said I would touch this once we came outside this formation. So that's why I decided to start here. I don't know if I would say it's a rising channel or a bear flag, but this is, eventually as this continues going, that's going to narrow. So that's what we're looking at for Solo. And it did come outside of that falling channel. So this is kind of the extension. If we break out here, we could have a rather significant rally. If we break down, well, we know where the next step is, so we don't really have to fear the move down. We just have to be ready for the move down. So if it does break this formation, your next big move for Solo is going to be 7.5. If it breaks up, you're going to be looking at a breakout attempt just about at 10-cent area. So just pay attention to Solo as we're going to get into some volatility here. Casper, still in that same little bearish formation. It's still within this bear flag. We got a triple layer tier of resistance that we've come through the first two. But now we need to break this downtrending resistance. If we can, we got to get over that 364 area. That should help us push the 4-1 and see if we can break bullish. So it is lagging crazy behind. It absolutely is lagging crazy behind Casper. So, but just pay attention to Casper. That's what we're looking for. And yes, I'm flying through this. It's Labor Day. You know, I was looking to do a good half hour right now, but it's gonna force me to go through this pretty quickly. That's not to say I won't be back on tonight, but I just have stuff going on because it's Labor Day, so I had to do this a little bit within the parameters of what I can do with the schedule. So I still wanted to come on live though because I just appreciate everybody. That's just the bottom line. So the 497 here, the resistance on H-bar, this is your pivot level at 497. If you get rejected here, nothing to be afraid of. We know we come back down to the next part of this rising channel. It's a two-tier setup. It'd be around the 4-3 level. You break that, then you got a little bit more work to do. But as long as you hold this as a lower support, you can bounce around, and this would be a range formed. It's up into here, then you got a second part within here. So we really have to watch this with H-bar. So pay attention to that. And I know we're going to go through this pretty quickly, but it's the way it's got to be today because, like I said, it's a holiday. And I'm going to try to get as much information as I can in the shortest amount of time so that we can continue to stay on the same page. So that's the uptrend, but you can clearly see with XDC, we've created this short-term pattern to see if we can maintain any bullishness. So much like we've seen with the XRP pattern, you can now draw this out with XDC. It looks like it's going to ride the longer pattern. So, I mean, that's the entire pattern if you meet the apex. So that 575 is really playing out to be this apex, or I mean this pivot level. So that's what we're doing here. We broke this uptrend now. So I'm going to delete this because I don't want to confuse everybody. But that's what we're in right now. It's either we break back up with XDC or if we break down out of here and this double bottom fails, you're likely going to have a retest down here somewhere around 4 or 5, and that's going to be pretty interesting to come way down there. Right now, though, it still looks like it could be operating out of a bull flag. So let's just pay attention here before we get carried away. Because you theoretically could have started an uptrend as well by just pulling this out. And you could just say, well, the uptrend technically started there, Tom. Well, I couldn't say anything to it except the fact, let's see what happens with the short-term momentum. XLM, right up at resistance. We talked about this on the live yesterday, and it was actually pretty spot on. We had a measured move. We came up to this resistance, which probably bodes well for XRP, which is probably lagging. And we know we have to fight within this formation with XLM. So, and if it breaks down, you're coming down to 8.7. Conversely, if we get some momentum here and break out, I'll clone this, but you would have to clone this. And then if you broke out right here, it would just get your targeted move up to that 15.4 area. So moving up, that's about the measured move it would give you. We'll move this up just to measure it from there. Get you about 15.6. So hopefully, I know I'm moving fast, but hopefully this is valuable for everybody who likes these tokens. I believe XRP, XLM, XDC are imperative. Hbar, Casper, Sologenic. I did want to look at Corium real quick as well, which is at 9.2. It's basically the same price as Solo. And yes, Solo and Corium, I get this a lot. They're both ISO compliant via the XRP ledger. So for Corium, anybody who's a fan of Corium, we're sitting down here within this formation. It's a 3-tier setup, though. It really is. You could either break down and come down to the downtrending support, which is just about 4 cents. But right now, we're showing a little topside momentum. In the 4-hour time frame, we're holding the 200-day. We look like a golden cross is forming in the 4-hour. Has it come through yet? It's been working on it. It actually just came through the golden cross. So now, if Corium comes up here, we're going to be looking at this downtrending resistance around 10 cents. If it breaks out, that could allow a 25% move up to 12.5. Conversely, if you come up to 10 cents and get rejected and you fall back through this golden cross, that could allow for about a 30% drop. So just be aware of this. So Corium is really going to be an interesting thing. The Great Falling Away Verge is ISO 20. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. Apologize for that, but I can't speak of things that I don't really have the proper education on. Tanya, welcome in, love. XVG, okay. I'll have to pay attention to that. Oh, Proton. Proton is a good one. XPR. Mugs, welcome in. Keep the comments coming as well. Yes, Proton's a great one. That's one that I need to get on top of. Oh, Johnson, you mentioned the Internet of Things tokens. What's your top 2? So, for the Internet of Things, it's more than a top 2. It starts with IOTA with the Internet of Things. You could say IOTA, but with the cheapest, the 2 best buys right now in the Internet of Things, DGB, which is Digibyte, which is at 0.00. And let's look at this real quick. We'll go through the Internet of Things real quick with everybody. So DGB, cheapest one right now in the Internet of Things that I value. It's in this big descending pattern. We had a very big pivot level that we failed to break over at 7.1. And now we're just paying the bills right now. We might have to come back down here to 5.8. If we can hold this support and say we're starting to do an uptrend here, you could break through here, but you'd have to get through the 200-day and come back up here to resistance at 873. But right now with DGB, it's in the Internet of Things. It's a 20 billion circulating supply. So about 1/5 the total supply of XRP when it's done. Right now it's about 1/3. No, not even 1/3. About 20 million. XRP's got a 33 billion circulating supply more right now. 2.5 times more right now than DGB. So DGB is number 1 right now for the cheapest on the Internet of Things. Whether it's the best value or not, I'll leave that up to your interpretation because I am not a financial advisor. Number 2 for cheapest, we have VeChain in the Internet of Things at 0.153838. So when VeChain fell outside the formation, now, yes, it would seem like we'd come down to 1 cent, but remember, we could possibly retest and we would know if we have a retracement here and we come up to the 1669 or 167 and break up, then likely we would have a retest of the broken formation at about almost 2 cents, 193. But VeChain in the Internet of Things as well. And VeChain is on a similar circulating supply. I just got to remember what it is. I don't want to give out the wrong information. VeChain is at VeChain was a little 72.71 billion is the max circulating supply, or at least the circulating supply. VeChain's max is 86.7, so close to XRP. Close to XRP with circulating supply. So DGB to me, with that circulating supply, is a much better value than even VeChain, in my opinion. But what do I know? And DGB right now is at 16.47 with a max of 21 billion. So I was wrong about the max. It needs to go up to 21 billion, but it's at 16.47 right now. So it leaves a lot more opportunity than VeChain at these levels even. The next one, so VeChain, we've got DGB. Then the next one would be IOTA. And since we're on IOTA, we'll say the circulating supply is 2,779,000,000, so 2.7 billion tokens. And the max supply is 2.779 billion. So we basically maxed out. Basically within a couple 100,000 of the max supply. So IOTA is basically tapped out. And that's a desirable max circulating supply of 2.779 billion. So another reason why I always say IOTA is a great deal. That's 50% the circulating supply of XRP's max, basically. So it takes half, more than half, way less than half. Right now the circulating supply is 1/25 of XRP. So if we go to IOTA, and it was a good question about the Internet of Things. Whoever pays attention should jot this down. 74 of you are in here now. Wow, I'm really surprised on this holiday weekend. Make sure to hit that like button as it will greatly help push the content. IOTA, after DGB and VeChain, which we already covered, IOTA is the most desired in the Internet of Things. It runs the show, basically. So, Internet of Things, IOTA runs the show, but I'll throw a twist at you when it gets the file coin. So, we have a golden cross here in the 4-hourly. We're going to try to retest this. It might fall through this, though, as a fake out to 1.6 to 16 cents, even if it's going to hold. Rising channel forming. These are bearish reversals at the top. You'll most likely probably come up to here to 187. You could, if we're going to have an extended rally here. And then you'd have to get on top. But this is a rising channel forming, so those are generally bearish reversals. So we have to pay attention to that with IOTA. But again, IOTA, very desirable in the Internet of Things. Then we've got, and I'm going to put the Internet of Things in here, Theta, with what I don't have already. The other ones I just cover on a daily basis. Theta, I love Theta. So Theta is down to 60 cents. Theta circulating supply. And this is very important. The Internet of Things is what ends up controlling the smart houses and smart cities. So these are the tokens that control this type of this utility. Very important, especially when we get to Filecoin, because that is actually running the new internet. Theta circulating supply is only, I believe, 1 billion. 1 billion tokens. And it's got a max supply of 1 billion. So it's got its max circulating supply is 1 billion. So Theta at 59.9 cents is somewhat desirable here, especially with that circulating supply. Theta at one point, as I've covered with a lot of you back in the day, Theta, just to put it in perspective, Theta was all the way at about $15.75. So you figure where Theta is today, and a 1 billion max circulating supply, which it's already attained, which is very. So Theta's down 95.9%. It's actually one that's sticking in my crawl right now, that it's reaming at me. Hey, asshole. What are you doing here? I got a 1 billion circulating supply and I'm at the cheapest levels in years. And then Filecoin, which controls the Internet of Things. Filecoin, I would dare say, it's come down probably the most out of any of them. Maybe not more than any of them, but it's close. So this rounds out the Internet of Things. So we started with DGB, 16 billion circulating supply, 21 billion max. We've got VeChain with roughly a 71 billion circulating supply. And then we switched over to IOTA with a 2.5 billion circulating supply, I believe it was, something like that. Switched over to Theta with a 1 billion max supply, which it's already at. Same with IOTA, it's basically maxed out already. And now we come to Filecoin with a 19,476,000 circulating supply. Wait a minute, what the hell is this? Not Bitcoin. I was going to say, that doesn't even make sense. Switched it on me. I was going to say it's a low circulating. I was going to say, I dare say it's the lowest one, but I couldn't remember with Solo. This is slightly higher. So Filecoin has a 445.82 million circulating supply. This is maxed out already for Filecoin. So keep that in mind with Filecoin. Just like Solo, that's a very low circulating supply. And the max price for Filecoin, and I've talked about this many times, Filecoin went up to $237 a token. Right now, we'll say it's at we'll say 382. It's down 98.39%. So Filecoin, it's actually down about 98.5%. But Filecoin with its circulating supply, if we can get this next drop off, and I beg, I plead, and I'm telling everybody to pay attention to these tokens that I'm talking about right here, right now. These are the Internet of Things tokens. And I'm telling you, in the next sector, with the smart houses and all that, I think this is the secret play. With the ISO and the Internet of Things, I think these are the two big plays. Nobody really talks about the Internet of Things. They think it's a pile of shit. I know I've heard it so many times it makes my head want to blow up. I don't know why we would think it's a pile of shit, these ones. I mean, how else are we going to have the smart cities and such? So Filecoin could be bottoming out. It could be starting to bottom out. It's just the weekly makes it look like there's a little bit to be desired. But it really could be starting to bottom out here. We'll see, though, if it comes back down. So has anybody heard of any of these tokens, honestly? So that rounds out your Internet of Things. So continuing, we have to get through the DXY. Check the page out. That's what a page should look like. I'll check on Proton, just not today. I got too much to talk about today. Proton, though, is going to have its own discussion eventually. I'm not oblivious to it, I promise. So with the US dollar, we're in this rising channel. As we said, we came back within it. We put this bull flag in. We talked about it last night, how it looked like. We still had higher ambitions. And now with what it's showing, it really does look like they're going to manipulate it probably up to 105.30. That could give us our final retracement. Oh, that was for Great Phone. Sorry. Apologize. So much stuff coming at me right now. I'm trying to keep up. So that's the DXY, and this is going to tell us a lot. If this goes up to 105.30, we'll probably have a bigger retracement in crypto. So just be aware of that. With gold, and if you want to show appreciation for my work, you can join Tom's Army. You can always send a YouTube super chat if you would like. I have gotten criticism because some say that they would donate, but they refuse to do it over YouTube, which I'm not here to judge. I'm not going to judge, and I completely understand. And I've had many who have complained to do a PayPal. So I did do a PayPal. So you can always donate at PayPal as well. XRP Future Millionaire on PayPal. That's all you got to do. You can do it through Cash App, tspeaka222. But really, the reason I say this is so we hit the like button. The more people that hit the like button, it pushes the content, and you help me produce my content. You help me push it out. It varies with YouTube. It varies with YouTube. That's why I say if you don't want to donate through YouTube, you can do it through alternate sources. I've made it available, but really, a lot of people will say it, but they don't donate. So there's not really any point of talking about it. So I'll make it available, and then anybody can do what they want. I'll put it in the video description below. But that's not what drives me, so I just get people, I read the comments, so I try to play devil's advocate and put it out there and see who's real. So 1.108 trillion, that's what we're trying to see if we can hold this bounce up here. Next level would be 1.049 trillion in the total crypto market cap. With Bitcoin, 25,709, we're down 1.01%. And our technical break up, if we can bounce off this level, as we have, if we were to break up, you could retest 27,696. And the only reason why that's relevant is because that's the death cross area. So you could retrace here, even 26,700 area. So we'll see. It looks like it's trying to put in a slightly bullish formation here in the daily, maybe trying to do a dragonfly. So we'll see how that works out. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly, greatly appreciate seeing you here on this Labor Day holiday in the USA. And Miss Vicky, I was talking about before you came on that I was really liking that live at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like the vibe. I like the people who were in there in the UK side of the audience. So I'm highly considering doing more lives at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that I can connect with the UK side and the other side of the world, because there was a lot of fun and a lot of different people in there as well that aren't normally in here during the lives. I just can't believe it got up to as many people as it did, but it was a really cool environment. Sam, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks for your hard work, Tom. Your dedication is appreciated. I greatly appreciate that. So much weight in the economy. There really is, Halo. There really is. Omar, good evening. Welcome in, my brother. Ron D, welcome in. Khan, good evening. Marvin, yo, welcome in. I appreciate everybody taking a minute to keep up with the technical analysis, even though the markets were technically closed today. Pardon me, but I've already started the spliff, still working on the wedding cake, which is cross of Girl Scout cookies and cherry pie. Whew. That's when I was talking about wedding cake, that is the perfect combination. Yesterday I was talking about it. Now I understand it's a holiday. I understand that we've gone through this pretty quickly. I love Quant. It's just, for me, it's out of my price range. Quant, because of the price, I can take that money and put it into a lot of different areas that haven't come up this much. What a lot of people don't realize about Quant is, even unlike most, from the bottom of its bear market, Quant right now is still up over 140% roughly. Actually, it's about 130. So Quant is still well off the bottom, but it looks like, if you look at Quant, it looks like a big inverted head and shoulders. And if it is, that plays well for XRP. It always front runs the rest of crypto. Quant runs it all. Don't get it twisted. Quant allows XRP and the rest of them to run. Quant runs the show. If Quant wants to bounce out, you could be looking at $200 to $225 if this inverted head and shoulders pans out. It's not guaranteed. We would have to break this channel, but it looks like it could be forming an inverted head and shoulders. We've got, what I think with Quant, an inverted left shoulder formed, a head, came down to this formation, it's consolidating. As long as it doesn't break down and out, we very well could be looking up. But I like Quant. Quant is the big utility for the rest. It's a major part of the Internet of Things. I mean, of the ISO, the whole ecosystem. You've got Quant in the middle. The rest of them are legs. Even XRP is a leg of Quant. You can't do XRP and the cross-border payments without Quant's ecosystem. I know a lot will find that hard to believe, but it's actually true. Me too. I'm actually sicker than you because I had it in my head and I told everybody when we got down under 35 bucks that I was going to be paying attention to it. But unfortunately, where the hell did Quant go now? Did it really just delete Quant on us on the fly like that? Unfortunately, with Quant, what ended up happening is right when we could have bought that, I'll show you the date. It ended up kind of compounding us because we paid so much attention to XRP in this time frame that we kind of lost focus on Quant. And look at the time frame when we got down to the area, and I'm disappointed in myself. It was down here 42 bucks. Okay, yeah, so you're right. It was about 42 bucks. But when it got down here, I was talking 35, so it never got down there, but it was close enough. But I guess I can't kill myself because it never came to the area that I was talking about with the audience. But still, 45, and it was up at 428. So you're talking, there's your 90% savings. And Quant circulating supply, and it's kind of weird that most YouTubers and most social media influencers don't talk about circulating supply. It's so 400, no, not. It's kind of weird to me. Is it weird to anybody else that most who make price predictions, they don't talk about the circulating supply? So Quant has 12,072,000, or yes, 12,072,738 is the current circulating supply. Very small. Very small. The max circulating supply is only 14.61 million. That's why if we could ever get an opportunity, if it comes down even lower, we're looking for a breakdown, but it's out of my price range right now. So, and you've really never had an opportunity with Quant to do anything more, but I mean, it is definitely something of opportunity if you have it. It's not one that I would say, oh, you need to get rid of that. Quite the opposite. XLM, I know we looked at it very briefly. It's having a nice day up about 4.48%. We're at the top of the resistance right now. So we're going to see that 12.6 area. So just pay attention to that with XLM. I bought 40 Quant for 50 bucks, but sold. To each their own. Depends what your plan was. I won't judge you. And it depends where you sold it. If you were selling it to further push an agenda with something else, I can't blame you. But if everybody wonders why it moves so quickly, but this could very well with Quant. I'm hoping for another push down when we go. I could go back into the Quant chart, but I'm hoping for another push down. But with XLM, what I'm hoping for is that we came through a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we'll come down here and consolidate the pattern. If we can hold that, get back above, and maybe that's where we'll start swinging out of here. But it looks like we're going to need some added pressure unless this continuation happens. And that's where this resistance is at 12.6. That's this short term. But we're going to need a hell of a continuation. Otherwise, that daily time frame, we're going to catch up to XRP and we're going to end up with our own version of a looming death cross. And with XRP, I know it gets, we got to keep talking about death cross, XRP, blah, 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 blah. But we do. We have a looming death cross, and that's all we can talk about because it's looming. And the death cross, for anybody who doesn't know, using the exponential moving averages, you got the 20-day, which is this beautiful red line, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day. Once this 20-day, the shortest moving average, which was up here, comes through this blue line, that's the 200-day. That considers a trend reversal. And in the daily, that's a pretty big trend reversal. Now, of course, you'd have to have it come through and then resist on it. But right now, it still supports what we were seeing yesterday. In the 4-hour time frame, when we were live, we talked about the 3 consecutive inverted hammer candles, which suggests that even though the sellers sold back off, we could not break to a lower low, and we kept breaking the new highs on each successive candle. That suggests that we're more bullish right now, and we should come up to the top of the formation. While with this long leg doji emerging all of a sudden here in the daily, this could signify that reversal candle that could possibly bring us up into here. So that is what I'm dissecting right now with XRP. I know we've talked about a lot in this live. Duly noted, but we needed to. So right now, is I'm not going to look to see how many people are watching. I'm going to go roll my cannabis. We're going to relax together, and we're going to wind this out. We're going to figure out what's going to happen next, but I need your input. Same thing with the market cap. The market cap's put in a long leg doji, which is a indecisive candlestick move. We were coming down and we don't seem to have pressure. So are we going to come up now? Can we break the 27.4 billion and start pushing up near the 27.6 and ultimately back up to the pattern resistance at about 28.3 billion? That is the question we should ask ourselves. Now, instead of just sitting here in silence, all you have to just listen to nonsense, and you can't listen to anything. There was one thing that I wanted to play in the background. It was with Gregory Manorino. So if you're not following Gregory Manorino, watch him. He has the MMRI indicator.
Iron Beam, a bright choice for futures trading. Iron Beam is an industry-leading search engine.
So I greatly pay attention to him. I have it saved at 350. Where was it? 3. So listen to this real quick. This is Gregory Manorino. Follow him on YouTube. He's been on here for a decade. He's got 250,000 subscribers. He's just somebody who, to me, reeks central bank. He tells you how to do his own, move your stuff into being your own central bank as well. He pushes that agenda. Yes, he kind of does look like he's been in the closet as a vampire, but you know what? He knows what he's talking about, so we'll give him that.
For all of us, this is a debt-based model. It's not based on wealth at all. It's trouble.
So if you want to learn about our economy, our financial system, pay attention to Gregory Manorino. I'm going to go roll this, educate real quick.
In the debt market, which is about to get a lot, so they have to let you know about we've seen as of late with the MMRI, making some pretty substantial moves higher. They have no choice. They have to talk about these things. Otherwise, they just look completely incompetent. Again, we understand it's a game. They just... these ministries, these propaganda ministries, that's all they do is flood the airwaves with propaganda and distractions and deceptions. But this is getting very real, so they have to let you know about it. Before we even go on to anything else, let's just cover some of this right here, because it's really kind of in our face. So let me read through this. I want you to ponder what I am saying. I want you to please comment here and get your own copy. As I said, it's in your inbox. So, title, Big Trouble in the Debt Market, which is about to get a lot worse, more to come. People count on it, okay? Let's put a little perspective on that. Do you believe, understanding, and I know all of you do, the current situation here that, look, at its core, the system that they have instituted for all of us. This is a debt-based model. It's not based on wealth at all. It's dependent, completely dependent on debt being pulled into the now in greater and greater amounts just to support where we are. It can't remain static. It must continually and relentlessly be piled on and piled on more and piled on more and piled on more. Otherwise, we end up in a Mad Max scenario, which is where we're going anyway, with much more devastating consequences than if the debt time bomb were to go off today, and it may be just starting here. What's coming down the pike is worse than anyone here can possibly imagine. It's really the truth. You want to know what's going to happen? Open up a search engine right now, okay? As you're listening to me, open up a search engine. I will wait just a second here. So open up that search engine and type in Global Debt and the Human Bubble by Gregory Manorino, and you will see how this is actually going to unfold. It's a nightmare scenario. Anyway, so big trouble in debt market with more to come. Lions and friends, for over 10 years now, I have outlined that a nightmare scenario relating to the global debt market will occur. And today, this slow motion train wreck is unfolding. Here we go. The world today is currently existing in its current state because of a global time bomb, a debt market hyperbubble which will go off with devastating consequences for all of the people of the world. Do you think this is by accident, really? That central banks have all done the same thing in concert at the same time, forcing us to live in a Frankenstein environment, something that we have never witnessed before in the history of the world?
All right, everybody. If you got them, light them. I want you to finish listening to this because Gregory Manorino is a very, very smart person. If this is the first time you've seen him and this helps you follow him, he encourages people to share his content. So please, go over to his channel, Gregory Manorino, 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know how he only has 250,000 after 10 years or whatever it's been. Should be way more. He had less than six figures when I started following him, somewhere around 50,000, but he's definitely grown exponentially here the last couple of years, and it's fucking fantastic to see.
I don't think so. This is definitely all by design. And this time bomb can go off at any moment.
Yeah.
Now, below
Yes,
are several statements which were published by Bank of America just last week. Because this was published by a Wall Street super bank, it has to get coverage. You understand? So you got the CNBCs, the Bloombergs, the Fox Business. You know, they have no choice. They have to talk about this. This is Bank of America. And you understand already the importance of the U.S. 10-year yield being that it's the benchmark. It is also one of the core components of the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, the MMRI. Free to you.
Just out of curiosity, does anybody watch Gregory Manorino? Just out of curiosity.
Hey everybody, link in description of this video. Okay, Bank of America, the U.S. 10-year yield Treasury bond is on track to suffer an unprecedented
Excellent,
3
Crypto
consecutive
Roger.
years of losses. This is Bank of America, not Greg Manorino. Does
Awesome,
it sound
great
like Gregory Manorino? It does, because you and I have talked about this at length for I don't know how many freaking years. This represents the longest stretch of losses since 1787, according to Bank of America. This decline comes after U.S. Treasury bonds suffered their worst annual loss since 1788. Bank of America goes on to say, the U.S. 10-year
Excellent,
Treasury
Sam.
is on track to see its
Please
third
do,
consecutive
Tanya.
annual loss. The 10-year
Please
bond
do.
fell 3.9% in 2021 and tumbled another 17% in 22.
Wow, Peter Pan, thank you so much for the $10 donation. That is totally unexpected as always. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't even know what to say. The generosity of this audience holds no bounds. It's just incredible. But Gregory Manorino, for anybody who hasn't watched, he used to be basically on Wall Street. And he's been doing this for years to try to teach people. He's been trying to show you how to do your own central bank. He's a very influential person on why I started doing my stuff in 2017. So he's been around for a while. He didn't look like this. He was a little more chunky when I first started watching him. He looks fantastic now. Like, he looks fantastic. Like, he's done an excellent job with his health. Like, if you look at his older videos, this is what it looks like if you appreciate life and you're looking to further better yourself while teaching. If you look at my videos from 2021, I looked horrible. I didn't even realize it. But I looked, what the hell happened? I looked horrible. Not horrible, but I was definitely a chipmunk in the face. So, yes, please do subscribe to him. Type in Tom's Army sent you so that he knows. I would love to be able to talk to Gregory Manorino one day. He's on my bucket list with Peter Schiff, Robert Kiyosaki, Mike Maloney, Ben Mala, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. I think that's it. I have a very small bucket list. Peter Schiff, I think I said that already.
One and tumbled another 17% in 22, which was its worst annual loss since 1788. This has never occurred in the 250-year history of the United States Republic. With these never-before-witnessed occurrences in the debt market, this is me now, risk in the market is nearing extreme levels according to the MMRI. Now, I know most of you out here track the MMRI. We are like 30 points away from extreme levels here. We've witnessed what the stock market has done, okay, since we crossed
Hell yeah, Ed,
what has proven to be the first line in the sand with regard to the MMRI. 250, at MMRI 250, this market gets all kinds of shook up. Now, as of late, we've witnessed a little bit of a phenomenon here. Despite near extreme levels in the stock market, we've watched the stock market put on some gains. Why? We've covered this as of late, but let's just outline real quick. Okay. The economic news,
Giro
or the economic
Salenti.
news
Thank you
that
for
has
that.
been
I'll look up
coming
that
in
name.
is abysmal. It couldn't possibly be any worse. And it keeps coming in round after round after round after round of it. So what's the market saying? The market is sending a signal to you and I.
So this is the last part I want to listen to, but this is why I played the last 4 minutes. This is where it's tying in. So pay attention to the markets. He talked about the 10-year yield, which I thought was fantastic. But yeah, doesn't he, Crypto Roger? He looks fantastic now. Like, hey, I can speak about men and women, but his posture, his demeanor, he looks thinner. He looks refreshed. You know, he's getting up there. I think he's in his mid-50s now. But he looks like he's obviously in excellent shape now. If you looked at his videos a few years ago, he just looked done with everything. Now he's energized. It's fucking great to see. See, I'm not a hater in all regards. I'll give people credit when they deserve it. He deserves it.
Everybody else, and that is the Federal Reserve is going to be forced to cut rates sooner than later. I don't believe that. Okay, my take is this, and again, I want you to ponder what I'm about to tell you. In over 10 years.
Oh, Gregory, we'll support you.
To ponder what I'm about to tell you. In over 10 years.
Definitely more color.
I have only been wrong about the Fed 3 times. 3 times in 10 years. This is calling the Fed every single month what they would do. I've been wrong 3 times. Now, with that said, and those are...
Everybody who stuck around for this, I commend you. And I encourage you to go follow Gregory Manorino. Very simple. Type it in on YouTube. He's got 250,000 subscribers. And if I can do a small part in sending you his way, I've done my job, because this guy doesn't ask for a damn thing. He's like me. He does it all free, no paid. He's one of the only people I know of, aside from myself, and look at his audience size. He's compatible with the bigger ones. He doesn't do the paid promotion, sponsorships, or advertisement. He only promotes his traderschoice.net. Like, I can't think of another person with his, let alone mine, but his audience size, which is 15 times bigger, he doesn't do the paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships at all. Period. He advertises traderchoice.net, which is his website and his company. So just consider that. You don't have to sit through the mumbo jumbo bullshit. He'll ask you a couple days a month, please send me a cash donation for doing the work. Yada, yada, yada. Much like I ask for people to join Tom's Army. No different.
You have been with me, can vouch for that. I'm here to tell you the Fed is not cutting rates. They are not cutting rates.
Remember what I said? Everybody keeps asking if they're cutting rates. This is my stance. They can't. It's impossible.
Anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I believe the Federal Reserve, along with the Bank of America,
Excellent.
I'm sorry, the Federal Reserve is the bank of
Thanks,
the world,
Sam.
okay, honestly, but the Federal Reserve, along with the European Central Bank and the
Thank
Bank
you,
of
Donald.
England,
Welcome.
okay, these institutions are going to continue their pressure on the middle class. They got the middle class by the throat. This is an elimination. This is extermination. You all know that they are not going to stop. They're going to continue with their token 25 basis point hikes, 25, 25, 25. And then maybe
And
we're
now
going to
you
get a
can't
pause.
live in fear.
Okay, but a cut is not happening. But the market is
Correct.
pricing it in. The market is pricing in a cut sometime soon. People, unless I am wrong on a scale that I wouldn't believe, they're not cutting, okay? They got...
And he has been right every step of the way. Every time they stopped a rate hike, every time that they lowered from 75 to 50 to 20. He was a big part in my decision making. He's been spot freaking on.
The world where they want it. Again, the world existing today under a hyper bubble of hyper bubbles. This is no accident here. The Federal Reserve has kept rates suppressed merely to open a doorway. You know how this works. Suppressed rates opens up a doorway for cash to make its way into the stock market, to make its way into a real estate hyper bubble. That's what we have. Creating not only people, let's just outline this too, in case you don't know, if you're new here, not only a stock market hyper bubble, a real estate hyper bubble, but inverse hyper bubbles. Inverse, meaning reverse bubbles. And I'm talking about commodities in general. I'm talking about gold and silver, platinum and palladium as well. Again, this environment has fostered a deliberate environment of risk. making cash move into assets where it shouldn't be going into, and coming out of assets it should be going into. You understand? So that creates these distortions that exist. These distortions across the spectrum will change. We'll go from risk on to risk off. Debt market seems to be, and it very well could be, okay, unless that more action is taken by the Federal Reserve, we could sincerely be today, right now, in the early stages of a meltdown in the debt market. Don't take my word for it. Listen to Bank of America. You don't need Greg Manorino anymore. You got Bank of America telling you the same freaking thing that you've known.
So are you guys getting value out of this? Do you want to keep listening to Gregory Manorino, or am I wasting my time? Because I find this extremely valuable. And he's 100% transparent like I am. Share my content. Let people see it. Just give credit where it's due. So Gregory Manorino, please follow him. I'm giving him his props. He wants us to share. So maybe this will be a way for some of you to see him. Maybe I should share his content a little bit more when we're talking during the lives. Because he is so spot on. It's helped me. Like you guys say, I help you in the charts because it reinforces what you know. Him, Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, not Robert Kiyosaki in this sense because he's too much paid and bought for now, which is a shame. And Jordan Peterson in a different regard, but mainly Peter Schiff and Mike Maloney. I hold them at the highest standard when it comes to the economy, along with Gregory Manorino. Those are the trifecta. Robert Kiyosaki's great, but I don't know. Anybody who watches him, you guys know.
For 10 freaking years, okay? Duh. It's in your face. It's in all of our face here. You can't escape it. No one can escape what's coming here. Period. It's going to affect every human being on the planet. Again, this is to issue in a new system, a new set of rules, a new paradigm. People, I've been telling you these exact words for 10 years, and that is where we're going. That is what's going on here, and central banks are not done, in my opinion. They're going to continue to, I guess, keep the stock market inflated, especially through the presidential selection cycle. You have no choice. You may think you do, but you don't. Okay? They will choose who they want to put behind the resolute desk. And whoever makes that job, I want you to understand something. That person has been chosen for one reason and one reason only. No matter who it is, no matter what face, figurehead, hairstyle, skin complexion, whatever it might be.
Summer, I wasn't going to say it, but because you said it, thank you. Thank you. Listen to what Summertime said. I didn't say it, so you can't blame me for speaking it. I didn't bring up the conspiracies. Thank you, Summertime. Thank you, love.
They're putting that person there to help the Federal Reserve fulfill its end game. That's it. No three presidents in American history,
sure does, Sam.
the current one, the previous one, and the one before that, have done more to empower the Federal Reserve than every other president previously before them combined. Okay? That's what these last three presidents have
Absolutely.
I know how that hurts some of you who believe that's not true, but it is. Look at their records. Look at how much they've pulled.
I love this audience.
Resistance and called on the
Fucking
Fed
love
to
this
do
audience.
more. It's an incredible situation here. Some of these presidents have rah. Look at the stock market. Look at that stock market. All-time high.
That only if the DXY continues to be overinflated, that would cause the precious metals to drop. That's what I've been talking about as well. Yes, it would go down if the DXYs continue to be overinflated to make the U.S. economy look better. They're trying to overinflate the government bonds right now, especially the 10-year, because these countries are starting to dump them. There could very well be a pact that they've been talking about on 10-1. Well, 10-1's right down the road now, and it scares the shit out of me. What if they really do start dumping them at an alarming rate on October 1st? We're talking about the Brics nation, especially China. And under this scenario, China would be the big ones dumping. If they are, look out below for the U.S. dollar. Yeah, he speaks of XRP, absolutely. He talks about XRP as one, when it's railing at times. He's not invested in it, but he definitely brings it up when he talks about crypto from now and then as one of the ones that are, could possibly have utility in the future. But he talks about crypto at a finite level, very few and far between. He'll just talk about whether or not it's getting support, but he has brought it up by name many times More so in 2023 than I've probably ever heard him mention it.
I mean, and that's all because of easy money that was pumped into the economy and into the market. That's all it was. Like, it was an illusion that things were good. And they weren't so good, people. Unless you really have no touch with reality and don't understand how this whole thing works. It's all easy money. Now some easy money is getting pulled out here, okay? And that's where you're seeing these,
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
pulled out here, okay? And that's where you're seeing these incredible moves in the debt market, which is, in my opinion, going to get only a lot worse from here. And there's a couple of other things too that we must consider moving forward. Now, I've touched on this as of late, and I've gotten an enormous amount of feedback on this. But again, this issue of these Brics alliances with these oil producers, they're doing this for one reason, and one reason only, in my opinion, the only way that the U.S. dollar can lose its reserve status or be dethroned would be if the Brics nations control energy. They must control the world's energy. And it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do. This is a direct threat to the U.S. dollar, a direct threat to the petrodollar, quite obviously, and to our way of life here in the United States. Again, this privilege of having the world reserve currency has allowed us to export inflation to the rest of the world, and now, of course, it's propaganda.
Finally, you know how much it makes me just want to say thank you when I listen to him and Peter Schiff especially, and Mike Maloney, when they speak of the world reserve currency and how we're losing that status through the petro. When they speak of it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not an idiot. I'm just surrounded by a bunch of people that believe all the propaganda. You've got a few that actually know what's going on. It makes me so happy to hear it. Like, you guys all hear me talk, and I get criticized a lot, but when somebody a lot smarter than me, with a lot more connections than me, I mean, and a lot of people are like, how do you know all this stuff? I listen to people that know. While everybody's listening to fucking, I don't even know anymore, their music and all their propagandist nonsense. Like, here's the difference. While most people, they might listen to, I'm not going to name names on YouTube, but the higher level people, the asset investors of the bunch, and the ones like that, the running guys, the trap backers, and you know who I'm talking about, the main ones. If you waste your time watching all of that, even sometimes with me, I suppose, you got to watch these people. These are the people. You need to watch Gregory Manorino. See, even he can't believe we're watching some of these scumbags on YouTube. Like, I'm out here, folks. How can you watch these people? Look at him. He's stunned. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry so many people would rather watch these scumbags than you. It's embarrassing that they have more followers than him. And he's got 250,000 now. But think of some of the ones I've talked about that have more than him. No reason for that. That's satire. Would you rather watch satire or the truth? That's what you need to ask yourself today on this Labor Day.
This is the fall of an empire on a grand scale. Unfortunately, empires, if you look through history, run in cycles. They peak and fall, peak and fall, peak, and now the power is being moved. In my opinion here, again, this is going to lead to war, death, pain, and suffering moving forward. But the U.S. is really losing its status across the board at this particular time. And nations around the world are sick of it. They're sick and tired of having to deal with kind of a situation now. The Federal Reserve, they're doing this by design here. Again, collectively, central banks around the world are the government. They've become the government. In order to actually solidify that in many, many ways, they have to level the playing field now. Again, I think this whole thing with the Brics is throwing a monkey wrench into the plan of the central banks here dealing with this. So again, I think there's going to be a very high price to pay for us all as this unfolds moving forward. But again, I would love to hear your take on this. Energy prices, people. I want to talk about energy prices. You and I have witnessed what has happened to crude oil since it hit $67 a barrel, went up to 84. We pulled back as we expected it to do. Now we're moving much higher. In my opinion,
you're welcome,
when
Sam.
it comes to adding to your silver stack, it's important to work with a business you can trust. That's where,
in my opinion, again, I would love to hear from you traders out here, you, especially those of you that trade energy and crude. We're going much, much, much higher. And this is going to add to inflationary pressures across the board. Across the board. So if you
pay attention to the chart now, does that not speak of everything we talked about, 2023 to 2026? And then what happens? You got a period where you have to go into major utility. So we're going to have a period where we're going to have exponential wealth. That's what I'm saying. Before the major boom, there's going to be an opportunity to come right back to where we're at. You're going to have this big breakout, and then all of a sudden you're going to go, boom. Everybody thinks crypto is going to wipe out 95% to 99% before the next big run. I have some news for you. There's a utility run in between. So I keep speaking of 2024 area. And it could go until late 2025, early 2026. It's almost scary how this chart speaks of it. So read this while we're listening to Greg. It's scary, and it makes me happy that somebody mentioned it in the comments.
feel like you're struggling right now with trying to make ends meet here, you haven't seen anything yet. Now, with regard to the data, we found out right out of the mouth of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it's all fake. The June jobs numbers were revised almost in half. I covered this just last week, as a matter of fact.
It's hard to see.
So this new number that just came out, it will also be revised in half. And of course, they did float out Bidenstein thing, vomitous mass creature, to tout those jobs numbers. They're so good. We're adding jobs. But of course, they'll be cut in half next month. And he won't come out to tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's deceptions. It's distractions. It's look here. Don't look over there. Again, do you think you have representation anymore? Anywhere around the world? Really? Do you really think so? I guarantee you, you're going to say no. We don't have any representation anymore. It's because the central banks have become the central power of the world. They are sovereign entities which answer to no higher power, and I think they believe they're above God. I think they're going to have a rude awakening there, but unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more suffering before anything like that would happen here. So anyway, keep in mind what I've been talking about here.
Okay, so thank you, Gregory. If you want to hear his final statements and some other stuff he talks about, go watch the end of this video. Give him some credit. At least go like the video since we watched it. Just go like his video. That's all I'm asking. Since we watched it, just go over there. Even if you're not going to subscribe, I think it's our job to at least hit the like button to give him credit since we all did watch. So that's 86 extra likes or whatever. Would you like letting me know what the lowest buy area would be for Casper coin? We would have to cover that on another day. We're already over an hour here. I'm thinking, assuming everything goes right, I'm going to try to do stuff at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time now for the UK audience, because I had a lot of fun with my UK side and the ones on the other side of the world. Because let's face it, the only way to expand, and I want to do these as well, at this time, but I'm going to keep doing it at this time. Notice I came on at 5:40 or 5:37 instead of 7:47. That gives me a little bit of time to recover and then come on and see what happens, as long as my son cooperates at 11:47. No, cutie. What? Sorry for the disturbance, Helen. No, that's not a disturbance. What I was trying to say is I'm going to put it on my chart and I'm going to pay attention to it. And then tonight, I'll cover it in the late night stream if I come back on. Thank you, Dean, for being there. It was a great stream. And a lot of people that are in at the 7:47 p.m. stream on the East Coast are not there at 11:47 because they're working. Even the ones on the Pacific Standard Time. How can you donate? Well, that is always the question. So, if you want to donate through YouTube, you can join Tom's Army, which is a monthly thing, because I don't do any paid advertisement, promotions, or sponsorship of any kind. So I ask anybody who wants to do that to join Tom's Army if you want to pay it forward. Or you can send a YouTube super chat. But if you don't want to do that, or if you can't do that, I don't know where you're at, but you can either use PayPal, XRP Future Millionaire for anybody who's interested. I mean, I can type it in, and then I don't know where you're at though. That's the problem. And then also, I have Cash App. I just never talk about these. So PayPal would be XRP, and then Cash App. And you would have to look these up. I'll just type it in the chat. Cash App would be T-Speed. Wait a minute. I guess I should check to make sure I don't tell you somebody else's. Oh, I would have told you the wrong one. Oops.
A lot of it was really driven by the sell-off that we saw in US.
And then Cash App, if you're looking to donate, is like that. So if you don't want to donate through, or you can send XRP. Yeah, so I guess I should share that more with PayPal and Cash App if you don't want to go the YouTube route. It's all greatly appreciated. Trust me, I'm saving up right now because they're coming out with a new tablet here end of this year, and it's 2 generations up from this one when it comes out. It's top of the line. I'm putting my stuff together that I've been donated, so that's going to be a good cause. That's how I got this tablet as well. So that's a little side money I'm putting together. The exact PayPal address is...
that were expected in Asia for the next 12 months, they're being priced out. We started to see last
And everybody knows we're getting to the end of this, but if you want to stick around,
or at least bet on that trend over the next 12 months.
this will be real. This will be nice. This will be nice to read this together. It's at XRP Future Millionaire. So it's just at, if you're on PayPal, it's simple. It's my name. So I'm typing it in the chat. It's at XRP. It's just at XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you, XRP. I appreciate that. Tanya, you are welcome, love. XRP, thank you for that. Tom, you are the best in the game. I appreciate that. You're welcome, Tanya. You are welcome. She said thanks for the live. Loving the stock charts in the background. Good show, brother. Keep putting out those good vibes, baby. You betcha, Roy. So, let's read through this. So, I don't remember who said it in the comments, but I wanted to pull it up before we left. So, we'll come back to this right at the end. I know I'm keeping it on a cliffhanger, but that's how I get to let you see the XRP chart one last time before I leave. So, XRP right now is sitting at 5062. Remember the XRP market cap real quickly, as I like to sneak everything in. This uptrending resistance looks like a long leg doji here in the daily, which is a good sign because we had a lot of downward pressure. So this signifies we should be able to have a little bit of upward momentum. Whether that means we get rejected at 27.3 billion, we won't know until the next candle. If we come down and break down, our next uptrending support here is 25.2 billion. So just be aware. Otherwise, we could retest up here at that 28.2 billion. That is on the table. So just pay attention to that. With the market cap, with the XRPs at 5064, we got an hour and 13 minutes until the daily close. We have a long leg doji here as well. And we're still well below, though, the 524 resistance on the 200 days. So we're not closing above that. It doesn't appear. We have a long leg doji. So we should come back up here and probably retest 54 cents, assuming we don't get a huge sell candle. If we got a huge sell candle, well, then we'd have to come back down here to 44.8. You do have a 485 level that could be considered a double bottom. Actually, it's 488. No, it's lower. 484, 483. So somewhere in there. But I think you would fall through here to the bottom of the rising channel if you come back through, which, as we can see, we have a looming death cross. So that's likely going to happen. So that's it. I'm all talked out with that. How many people stuck it out here until the end? 79. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me pull this back up. What happened here? I want to read that real quick.
Once the carry trade starts getting volatile, that ends some of that.
Where did the general stuff? I don't. What is going on here? Well, I can't pull up the.
Unfortunate continuation of U.S. Exceptionalism, for want of a better phrase.
Well, this is rather interesting. You see this? It's not pulling anything up on Telegram.
The no lending story
That's okay. Well, I'm gonna pull that up anyway. I'll just send it to another part of my Telegram. That doesn't make any sense. That's okay. Simple solution. I think quick. You can't stop a quick thinker. We always have solutions. So, how the Benner cycle predicts 100 plus years of the market movement. And then I'm going to leave. I'll put this in an update at some point. We'll talk about this. Periods when to make money. Years in which panics have occurred and will occur again. B. Oh, no problem, Miss Vicky. You came back at the perfect time so we could talk about this. And then I got to go. Hopefully I'll be back at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm trying to do that for the ones over on your side of the world. I like the audience, and most of the ones in the USA are sleeping at that time. So remember that vibe we had last night? You can't get that when you have too big of a mix with USA personalities. And that's no offense to anybody who lives, because I'm part of the USA. It's just we're too emotional. We can't have any fun. We always got to show how big our Skalushi is. We always got to fight. We always got to object. Yes, Jan, this chart is in Telegram. Yes, indeed. So, B, years of good times, high prices, and time to sell stocks and values of all kinds. And C, years of hard times, low prices, and a good time to buy stocks, corner lots, goods, etc. And hold till the boom reaches the years of good times. Then unload, sure thing, save this card and watch it closely. So as we can see, 1924, we go all the way down to where we are. So in my lifetime, I was born in 83 in December. I know, Hamza, damn it. I mean, I'm not an emotional person, so I don't know where it comes from in this audience. I'm the least emotional person out of anybody. No. I think we all know that is a white tail lie. 2005 to 2007, right before the collapse, we had a minor push up. Then we collapsed until 2012. Then we did have a 7-year renaissance. We really did, where they overinflated the books. And then what happened? We plummeted into 2023. Now, I mean, everything I see as well that I've been talking about since 2021, you accumulate in 2023 and sometime in 2024 until late 2025, early 2026. I still think that would be the fake out. And ultimately, you could go to 2028 and maybe even longer and then push back up. According to this, we'd have to wait till 2032. But we're going to make hella money in 2024 to 2026. Hella reserves. And that's when a lot of the adoption will happen, and then most people will sell out. Remember that. I think we're going to have one more utility run before all the tokens are wiped out. Too much pressure on the SEC right now to just wipe all these tokens out right now. I don't know. What does everybody think about that? So that's where we're at right now, and it's convenient that we're almost at the end of 2023. So let's finish this real quick before I lose the rest of my voice. Samuel Benner was a farmer from the 1800s who wanted to understand how market cycles worked. You know what? This is fantastic. This is fascinating. In 1875, he published a book forecasting business and commodity prices. He identified years of panic, years of good times, and years of hard times. So, you know, I'm going to release this on its own because I think this is important. I'm going to go through this on its own. So I just wanted to show this chart, but I'm going to release this in a separate one, maybe tonight, because my voice is tired. I won't give it the due justice. So I appreciate everybody who tunes in tonight, who's been in right now, I should say. If you appreciate my work, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, as we've done a fantastic job. 74 people left until we had 117 likes. I'm blessed. If you want to show me extra support for all the work I do, join Tom's Army or send a YouTube Super Chat or the other options I've given with PayPal, and or you can do Cash App, but it's not necessary. Just you being here is all I really need. Stay blessed, everybody, and